and welcome to another week with author E. Jamie. Um, I'm feeling a little because your girl has a cold. So I got my water here for when I'm doing a lot of talking, which I have because I just finished filming my book haul for the month of January. And but before that, I went on my walk, and it's and I wanted to do that because even though it's like minus very much, um, I had wanted to return some stuff to the library, and I had to pick up some stuff, and I wanted to do that today because tomorrow the weather's going to be nicer, and I want to go to the book exchange tomorrow and pick up maybe one or two books, and maybe some reading glasses too, because they have a section where they sell reading glasses. But today, like, I went on my walk and it was really nice. Like, it wasn't, like, yeah, it was cold, but I made sure that I wore, like, a lot of layers. And, like, yeah, even though, like, I'm not feeling 100%, I really, really just wanted to, I was okay enough that, and I'm okay enough that I can, like, go and, like, do errands and stuff like that. I'm just sort of, like, kind of, like, sniffly and just, a little bit tired, but not like too bad at all. And yeah, it's mostly just like sniffly and just like my head just doesn't really like hurt, but kind of feels a little, kind of like not, just not. I can't explain it better than that. But yeah, I'm really glad I went because I kind of worried that because since last week I stayed home on my days off, and thankfully it was okay. Like, I didn't sort of suffer like any, like, I didn't really feel like sad or anything like throughout the week, and like it was okay. I didn't want to kind of risk it by doing that like twice in a row. um, so I really, really wanted to get out today and tomorrow because Friday is going to be the day that I'm staying home, because it's going to be like the high is going to be like minus 13. The wind chill is going to be in the minus 20s. So I'm like, okay, that's the day your girl is staying home. So, and tomorrow it's actually supposed to be like -1, which is like not bad at all. And yeah, and then after later in the day, like tomorrow night, is when everything's like really supposed to drop. So yeah, I went to the library, and I'm tempting myself with, and I'm completely sabotaging myself because in my whole like not buying new books thing, that I proved that I have become made of liar. Because this library was one that I hadn't been to in a while. Like, it's one of the three that I like to go to, but I've been to the other two, and then earlier in the week, in the like last week and the week before, not last week because your girl stayed home last week, but I hadn't been to this one in a while. And what was I gonna? Yeah, yeah. So see, I'm like, yeah, your girl's all loopy right now. Um, I hadn't checked out this library's book sale rack, and they had one, and it had some. I would even say it had like a bigger and better selection than the other two that I have been to, and the other two, they're not bad. They're not bad. There's like one that's like better than the other, but still, this one is better than those two. So your girl bought some books. But I'm figuring I'm doing a good deed. You know, I'm helping to support our local libraries. But that's the thing. It's like, it's not, and I only paid like $6, but it's not, the point is not the money. The point is the space. Your girl has no space to put like more stacks of books. So she's trying to get her stacks down, but she is not helping herself. So I bought some books here. First, we got, let me scooch back here. Okay, first we got Heather Hayford's First Comes Love. That's a romance. Then we have a book that I've heard a lot about, and it's Alex Michaelides, The Silent Patient. I think I've heard another one of his, The Maid, which I think it's called The Maid, which a lot of people I follow did not like that book, but they did like The Silent Patient. And the insert cover is just quotes, like review quotes. And there's that one there. And the next one is A Well-Behaved Woman by Therese Ann Fowler. And it's one of those, you know, historical fiction about like this like woman like bucking the system and like forging her own path and like going against society's conventions, and like, you know, I love that. And my last one is Pam Jenoff, The Woman with the Blue Star. Now I had to get, because I love Pam Jenoff. The Commandant, The Diplomat's Wife, I adored that book beyond measure. So definitely had to get this one. And yeah, that's what I picked up at that library. And all that was $6. And again, it's not about the money, it's about the space. Your girl has no space to put things. But yeah, I did my book haul video, so I have a little space there. So we'll be moving some from that stack up to there. The point is to get rid of that stack, not to keep refilling it. But here we are. Also, at work, at the Evil Day Job, I finally bought a book after the longest time. Because of my work injury back in October, I, for my breaks and my, like, you know, my breaks at work, I would just, you know, take my break, sit down, because I needed that rest. You know, if I didn't, then it would be really hard to get through like the rest of my shift. And it's been getting, you know, easier and easier and easier. But I didn't want to risk it. And yesterday was my first shift where I was there for like 8 hours. And before my injury, I would, you know, often get, you know, 2 to 10, you know, because not to toot my own horn or anything, you know, they even said it like 3 months after I started there. They were like, you're a very good worker, and you have made yourself indispensable after such a short time. So I can like proudly say that, you know, they give me, you know, really good hours, even like considering that it's part-time, but they give me like almost kind of full-time hours because I'm, I'm good at my job. I'm dependable. I'm reliable. I, don't often call in sick. I was starting to feel sick yesterday, but it wasn't like too bad really at all. I was just kind of a little sniffly and a little kind of like run down, but I knew that I was going to be off today. So I was like, okay, it's not that bad right now. Let me just like go in. I got my Advil cold and sinus and I was fine. And and I felt like I was good enough to maybe, walk a little bit during my break around the store to like, stand and go and pick up something off the book section. And so I did that, and it made me feel like really good, the fact that my thigh, like my leg wasn't hurting, and it felt really good to be able to do that. So I'm not going to hold it against myself, and even though like about the whole like me like not trying not to buy new books or whatever. But in my defense, I will also say that I only bought one book. But in not my defense, I will say that I intended to buy two, but the second one was too close to the day that they had put it out on the shelf. And as employees, we can't buy something until it's been on the floor for at least like 2 days. And this book, it made me sad because it was, I think it was Wives and Daughters or something by Elizabeth Gaskell. And as soon as I saw it, like I really wanted to get it because I loved Ruth so much. It's my second favorite classic. Your girl's got a lisp all of a sudden. Oh my god. Classic next to Jane Eyre. Even though my passionate hatred for that ending is the only thing that kept it not on my keeper shelf. But yeah, I loved that book, and except for like that ending. And I saw that there was another book by her on our shelf, and I really wanted to get it, but I couldn't because of the time. But what I did get was another Penguin classic, and you know how much I love the Penguin classic editions of things. And it's Anne Radcliffe's The Italian. And I've heard here and there about Anne Radcliffe, but never read her. And yeah, these, I don't know, these just, I want to try and collect, like, not necessarily all of them, but like if the premise like interests me and stuff, then, and if it's in a Penguin Classic edition, I'm definitely getting it because I love these editions and they just scream classic to me. So yeah, this is the one that I got at work yesterday, The Italian by Anne Radcliffe. So yeah, that's what I got sort of book-wise, and I was just thinking about like last week and how I stayed home, and I was worried that, maybe I shouldn't even like do a weekly vlog thing for last week because I wasn't going to do anything. But I found that I think maybe sort of like just keeping sort of in the habit of just sort of vlogging. And even if like I don't have like anywhere to go, just sort of vlogging and like talking to you guys, maybe that helped with my mental goodness or mental health. I don't know, I feel like kind of odd saying like mental health because when I don't, like, it's not necessarily that, I don't know, your girl is like hopped up on cold medication right now. But yeah, it made me feel good to be able to just vlog and talk to you guys about like what I was reading and what I was watching. Speaking of what I was watching, that's actually why I had to go to the library, because I had to return it today, and it was the Spanish telenovela, or miniseries actually, Gabriel Amor Immortal, and I finished it, and I loved it, but there's a but. The ending sort of left me. I didn't love the ending as much as I loved the the series as a whole, because um, I think I don't remember where we left off the last time that I mentioned the show to you guys, but I think it was Eva or realized that the bad guy Pizarro was actually after her, because it was her um, sort of, not necessarily like ancestor, but like her original sort of like reincarnated person who had originally put the curse on Pizarro and turned him into a vampire. And so he spent hundreds and hundreds of years trying to find and kill every reincarnation of this woman. Um, and like, was it just for revenge, or did he think that like when he finally killed the last incarnation, which she was supposed to be, Eva was supposed to be, that he would be free of the curse? Because he was evil to begin with, and so him being a vampire only sort of made it worse. So I don't think that the reason that he wanted to kill her was to free himself from this vampire curse of himself. He wanted to free himself of a curse of some sort, but he seemed to not mind the vampire killing people part of the equation. So Eva finds out that that is what is going on, and she decides that she's going to leave Gabriel to protect him, which I understand. So she goes off, and then the character sort of takes a turn that was sort of, I wasn't like altogether thrilled about, because she goes and she, goes into a motel, and like she cuts her hair off, and she's got this like bob now, and she even like changes like the way she dresses, and she ends up in this like outfit that is like, the typical kind of like badass warrior girl kind of fantasy, urban fantasy outfit, which is like the tank top, the white tank top, and the pants, and like not the armor, but the like strap on the side with like the bullets, and then like I don't think they were actual bullets though, but it was like the crisscross thing, and like you know what I mean. Yeah, she ended up like totally changing her look into that, and I think that was a little too cliche and not really necessary. And it just seemed to like change her personality, where she just became this like angry, like she lost her warmth. And that makes me annoyed, because so many, she became like the typical cliche kick-ass heroine, where they equate being cold and angry with strength. And it, like, yeah, I didn't like that turn that her character took. Because all through the novel, not the novel, all through the telenovela, she was warm and she was loving and she was still strong. And just as she was discovering these things, she was still strong. And she could still be like badass and all this without turning into the typical warrior kick-ass heroine, which I really do not like because somehow they equate strength with being angry. Um, so I didn't like that sort of turn because I think they took her character too far to the other extreme. Um, and then there's this other priest shows up who is uh, not a bad guy, but he just kind of showed up out of nowhere and was kind of helping them with that idiot Centauri who came back. And then I think where we left off was that her friend, Eva's friend Mirabelle, had something had been done to her, and unfortunately, what had been done to her was that Pizarro had like completely uh, possessed her and like taken her over, where she was now on his side, and that was really sad because I loved her friendship with Eva, and that unfortunately got destroyed by Pizarro. Um, and it sort of came to where it was like this. It went really crazy sauce in like the last episode, um, where the new priest that had came, sort of, I think he had gotten bitten, and by I believe he had gotten bitten by Pizarro, or was it by Mirabelle, because Pizarro had turned her into a vampire as well, and he sort of, yeah, he got like turned into a vampire and then ended up like hating God because God didn't help him when he needed it, which I think his anger toward God was pretty justified, because here was a servant who of God who was always like, from what we knew, a good man and was helping them, and he's praying to God to help him with this thing that is happening to him, and God didn't help him. So I can understand his anger towards God. And then like there's this final showdown between Pizarro and um, Eva, but really Gabriel, because, and sort of, I didn't really like that because I knew that like, okay, Gabriel was like the hero of the story, but I wanted Eva to sort of be more involved in taking down Pizarro. But you know, she comes and she's got like this weapon, which is like, what was it, like a crossbow, that she never actually, I don't think, uses in the showdown. And that kind of made me a little annoyed because you went to all this trouble to turn her into this thing, into this urban fantasy cliche, and then she's not even the one who takes down Pizarro. It's Gabriel, which I thought I wished it was more of sort of like a jointed effort, because Gabriel ultimately, they're fighting, but you know, neither one of them is really winning, and then it starts to turn to dawn. And so what Gabriel does is he grabs onto Pizarro and basically sacrifices himself to kill Pizarro by making them both stay out in the sun. And of course, they can't be in the sun because vampire. And there's sort of like a little gladiator moment where you see like Gabriel is dying, but he's seeing Viviana, which is one of Eva's earlier incarnations, with the baby that that was, died with her because she was pregnant when she died. So he sees them kind of like waiting for him. And I thought that was interesting because he could have fought and stayed with Eva, but I think it was sort of like it was sort of a happy ending, kind of, because he got reunited with his wife, which was Eva in an earlier incarnation, so he sort of got to go back and be with her and their baby. But then it was sort of like you could sort of see it as like he's leaving her to be with another woman, even though the other woman is still her. So and I don't know, like I wanted more, because up till like that point, the actress, I loved the actress. She was amazing, but somehow in that last scene, I didn't get the emotion that I wanted from her. The fact that this man that she loved was dying and leaving her to go be with an earlier incarnation of her. And oh yeah, Eva gets bitten too. So, surprise, surprise, Eva the badass is now a vampire. And the way it ends is like she is now living in Gabriel's fancy schmancy mansion. And we see her go into his tomb, or the coffin basically where he slept, and that's where like it ends. She goes into the coffin and it closes, and that's how it ends. So I sort of got the impression that she was sort of gonna be the kind of like Gabriel character, where she's a vampire and she most likely is not going to want to kill people, so she's going to be like the one like living through like centuries and centuries of years or whatever. But at least Pizarro, she doesn't have to worry about him anymore, and that sort of whole chapter of it is over. And I kind of got the feeling that, was that supposed to be the end? Or was that sort of like maybe they were doing a kickoff to maybe where there would be a series of her as a vampire? Because it sort of felt like they were going in a direction of there was another story to tell now. But then it was going to be like it was her living these years without the man she loved, Gabriel, because Gabriel like sort of died and went to heaven, supposedly, to be with his wife and his child. So the series would have, like, was it gonna be her, mourning her love for Gabriel the way like it was Gabriel mourning his love for his Viviana? So I'm not exactly sure the open-endedness of the end. um, and I also wanted more of the aftermath of that insanity of their defeating Pizarro. I wanted to know more of, like, the priests, and like how did they um, deal with the end of this thing, and like I wanted more of a kind of check-in with everybody, and like what were they gonna do now? Um, because the nosy priest, um, he was entertaining, I will tell you that, and he wasn't necessarily a bad guy. He was just very not. He was just very scared of everything that was going on, understandably so. And I think that they made a good choice to sort of make him this stressed out, freaked out guy rather than make him unlikable. Because it's like he did dumb things, but he did them because he was freaked out and scared. So, yeah. But I wanted more sort of also that, the sort of aftermath. Just a little bit, but no, like, Gabriel goes off with his Viviana and his baby, and then you just cut to Eva in now Gabriel's house, going into the coffin shutting. Yeah, I wanted more. I wanted more from the end. But otherwise, yeah, I enjoyed it immensely. Um, I did not finish Anne of Windy Poplars yet. I am so close. I will likely finish it during this vlog. In this weekly vlog, I will finish this book. And again, I am liking it. And it's just not my favorite of the series. It's a lot of, like, this one is like also like kind of a little repetitive, and it's sort of just Anne going around kind of fixing everybody, because we had the little bit with Pauline, and we had now we have this little girl Elizabeth, who is sort of the same thing. Like, her guardians or parents or the people who are taking care of her are just like not nice people, and they don't let her do anything, and Anne convinces them to let her stay with them for like stay with her for like 2 weeks, I think it was, or something like that. And it's just kind of like that, just Anne kind of going around kind of helping people, which is fine, but it's just not my favorite. The writing is still beautiful, and I still love it, just not as much as I loved the first three. So looking forward to finishing that. Oh, I mentioned, are you still here? Oh, I'm gonna fall when I grab you. At work, I am reading Clara's War by Clara Kramer, and I am about 62 pages in, and it's very you know, frightening and heartbreaking, and it's the story of this girl and her family basically hiding from the Nazis, so it's very, you know, reminiscent of Diary of Anne Frank. And it's just, it's one of those, like, stories. And, yeah, right now, their small Polish town has been taken over by, the Russians first, and now the Gestapo are coming in and you know, taking people from their homes, and it's just awful, just so awful. And I thought I would read another poem from the poetry of Pablo Neruda, or maybe I will do that tomorrow because this vlog is getting a little long, and I do also still want to show you guys what came today, and it is my paperback editions of Blood Vows Book 4, The Choice. They came today! This is a little bit of an unboxing show. This is the 4th book in my Mafia series, Blood Vows. So if you want to check that out, I can leave the link for you in the description. And this is book 4, and it is Will's story. And let's check it out. There we are. There we are. There's the back. Choice Blood Vows Book 4. $320, well, that's the bio. Like roughly 326 pages. So that is that's that. It came! I'm so happy! That's Blood Vows Book 4, The Choice. And, yep! Look what's here! So, yeah, I'll be doing some giveaways for that. We're going to be doing a giveaway. If you would like to win a copy of Blood Vows Book 4, The Choice, just leave me a comment. Leave me a comment on this video, and I will pick someone, and yeah, and let's see, I will announce the winner in next week's weekly vlog. So yeah, that is that. Oh, I guess doing the giveaway, let me read the back blurb for you in case. So again, this is Blood Vows Book 4. It is the first 3 books, I guess. Is it a standalone? The first 3 books are my Blood Vows trilogy, and this book is the first sort of like spin-off that deals with Brianna and Alessandro's children. So I think you might be able to read this as a standalone, because I go into like things that happened in the earlier trilogy. But let me read the back blurb for you. Detective William Donovan Dardano is a man torn between 2 worlds. the right side of the law he works in, and the dark world of organized crime he was raised in. For the most part, he has been able to straddle the line between these two worlds and miraculously remain loyal to both. That is about to change. Sister Laura Ellis is a woman torn between two desires, a desire to serve God and the desire for the detective sworn to protect her after she witnesses a mob hit. Each of them must make a choice, but the struggle to make that choice just might destroy them both. So, if you would like to win a copy of The Choice, just leave me a comment and I will pick a winner in next week's vlog. So there's that. I'm so happy they're here. Oof. Alrighty, so let me set that over. I think that's going to be it for this video because it's already a little long. And we still have tomorrow and Friday to get through. So I will talk to you guys later. Listen, I can explain. Should I just delete that clip where I make the New Year's resolution that I'm not going to buy any more books until that pile is gone? Because clearly that's not happening. But I can explain. See? Okay. Firstly, just got back from my walk, and it's actually, the weather is just a lot nicer now, like coming home, than when I went. Like it wasn't too bad, but actually going, it was actually cooler than or colder than it was yesterday, which yesterday like was supposed to be like the colder of the 2 days, and then tomorrow I'm just staying home because it's minus 13 with like a 30 wind chill or something like that, and your girl was not doing that. So it was going to be today and yesterday. So yesterday I went and it was, chilly, but you got your layers and you're fine. Today when I went, it was around 11 in the morning, 11-ish in the morning, and it was cooler than when I'm coming back, and it's almost 2 right now. So it's actually, the weather is like really, really nice right now. So the walk on the way back was lovely. Like I'm not complaining about the walk to there because it wasn't that bad. It was just cooler than yesterday, but still, if you got your layers, you're fine. It's just the walk coming back was really, really pleasant. And as you'll see, I went to that free little library that is actually like the new one that just popped up um, on the way to one of my libraries. Um, and when I first saw it, I was on my way back, and I didn't want to like stop and check it out because I didn't have anything to put back. But this time I took a book with me. It was The Good Night from London or something. I didn't get to show you guys before I went, but it was a historical, and you'll actually see it in the clip actually because I filmed it. And actually this time there was a lot more inside than when I first saw it. There was a lot more books. Nothing really jumped out at me, but I was really encouraged that like the amount of books in there seemed to have tripled. So that's really good. And then I left one myself. So the purpose of going to the book exchange was to get 2 books and reading glasses. Just sort of like temporary sort of reading glasses, because I'm finding, what is it when if you read something like near, the words get blurry? Like, is that like you're far sighted? Like you have to move it far for you to be able to see it more clearly? Or is that nearsighted? It makes more sense to me that it's far-sighted. So I wanted to get just sort of temporary kind of reading glasses. And I did get those. I did, if you wanna. And they are like really strong, like they serve their purpose. I got these, and with these on, I remind myself of my grandmother, God rest her soul. But these, like, they remind me of her. And they are like very strong. Like they're not for like everyday sort of walking around glasses. Definitely not. But for reading, they're really, really good. Like they even enlarge the print. I just realized that. But yeah, like when I like bring it close, it doesn't really get blurry. Where if I don't and then I bring it, yeah, like I can't read that. So it's good for my purpose. Just until I actually like go to like the eye doctor and get like a prescription and all that, because your girl hates going to the doctors and going and like, just that whole thing. Not to mention that, oh yeah, we have free healthcare in Canada, but somehow your eyes and your teeth don't count as healthcare. They're apparently not part of your body, so they're not covered by OHIP, the Ontario Health Insurance Plan. Make it make sense. It don't make no sense. So glasses are not cheap. And, going to, get your eye exam, that's not cheap. So I just got these little temporary glasses that make me look like my grandmother. So they'll do until I go in, but no, like you definitely cannot. These are not for like every day. These are like specifically just for reading, because it's very no, definitely not. So let me just set these down for now and show you what I got and try to justify the wrong that I have done. I was going to get one like regular book, one classic, and the reading glasses. That was the plan. That's not what happened. I was looking around and I found, and of course I, was looking around for like a regular sort of fiction book, and I got that. It's this is called A House Without Windows by Nadia Hashimi. And it's just the cover is just so pretty, and it's about a a woman in Afghanistan who her husband ends up dead, and she, I guess, he's found dead in the courtyard of their home, and she is in shock and refuses to explain what happened. So, of course, everybody thinks she did it. I don't know if she did it, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if she did it, and likely I won't blame her for doing it. So that's the regular fiction book that I got. Then I got the classic that I got was The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Now I know what you're thinking. Girl, you already got that. You got the Paper Mills Press version of it. Yes, I did. However, I want to keep my Paper Mill Press editions of my books to sort of display. So I don't want to mark them up or annotate them or any of that. I want to keep them looking as pretty and as perfect as they do. So I saw this and I grabbed it because I'm like, when I read it, I want to be able to, underline and mark it up. And oh, it's got pictures. Oh, it's got pictures. Look at it. Look at it. Pretty. Yeah, so I want to be able to mark it up and annotate it and, sort of do all that stuff. But I don't want to do it in my Paper Mill Press editions. So I figured, why not? And then I, of course, had to check out their Lucy Maud Montgomery section and see what they had. And thankfully, they had a lovely Lucy Maud Montgomery section, including the next book in the series, after Anne's House of Dreams, was it? After that one, it is... No, after Anne of Ingleside, which I have, the next one is Rainbow Valley, which I got. And I think it's about... Yeah, they've been married for 15 years. Anne and Mike Gilbert married 15 years and raising 6 children. So this is sort of their family story, and it's having to do with their kids. So I'm so happy that I got this next one. But not as happy, or yes, as happy, because that's a new one that I haven't read yet. But then I found Paper Mill Press edition of Anne of Green Gables with Anne of Avonlea. Now, the inside's all green and beautiful. So it has both novels. And I checked on the website, and I think these are the only 2 that Paper Mill Press did, which makes me sad because I would give anything to have the entire series in this Paper Mill Press edition. So see? Like, how could I not? You would have done it too. Don't look at me like that. You would have done it too. If you've seen these things there, you would have gotten them too. And I got the glasses. So, more for the pile. um, so yeah, yesterday I watched a couple of documentaries. I watched one called Wasted, which was about food waste. It was another food waste documentary because I had seen one a while back. This one had Anthony Bourdain, God rest his soul, in it, and it was really, really good. And another one that I'd seen is a documentary called Rewind, and it's this boy's, well, he's a man now, but he, it's his story of child sexual abuse. And it is just heartbreaking and infuriating. And yeah, it's really, really good. Um, so today I am going to be working again on some more editing of my historical romance Wanted. And I'm planning to do my book wrap up for January tomorrow because I am so, first of all, staying home, so I'll have more time. And I am so close to finishing Anne of Green Gables. I think it literally have like 20 pages left. Yeah, I have like 20 pages left. And I wanted to, like finish it before I did my wrap up so that it wouldn't have to like carry over to February's wrap up. So I can just like get it sort of done in this month for January's wrap up. Does that make sense to anybody but me? Okay. So yeah, I'm like 20 pages to go. I like it, but I just kind of find it a little repetitious of stuff that we know that like Anna's sort of already done, where she helps a girl who like is like being kind of like oppressed and like who's maybe the family's not treating them great, and like so she helps with that. She helps a couple who wants to be together but can't be together, and so like she helps with that. And it's sort of like yeah, it's just like a little kind of like repetitious. And so yeah, I still love it. Like the writing style and everything is like wonderful, and the mood of it has picked up, which is really, really great. But not my favorite. Even though like I've annotated, like I've underlined like a lot of like beautiful lines and stuff, but I find not as much as the first few. So love it, not as in love with it as the others. So what I'm going to start watching today is based on the Elena Ferrante books. Apparently there's a series, and it says here that this is the complete first season, so I don't know if it's just like, is it just one season? I should do the Googles on that. But yeah, it's My Brilliant Friend based on the books, based on the first of the 4 Neapolitan novels. And I saw a couple of Elena Ferrante's books at the book exchange, but I didn't want to get them just because I have My Brilliant Friend on my TBR, or my, I have it there somewhere to read. And I want to make sure that I like it first before I invest in more of her books. And of course, gotta watch the series, the adaptation if there is one, because if you're new here, I'm one of those that believe if there is a book to adaptation, you should watch the adaptation first to see if you enjoy it, because then chances are you will love the book. Whereas if it's the reverse, then chances are you're going to spend most of the time watching the thing, nitpicking the thing, and complaining about what they cut and what they changed and yada yada. So I always say, if there's a book to adaptation, watch the adaptation first. So yeah, that's the plan for today. So, okay, based on the first of the 4 Nepali novels, and this HBO drama, it has 8 parts. So is it 8 parts of the first book? Or is this like, is this like one part? And then like the second season is the second part, and then, well, likely no. I don't think so. This is probably, like, this first season is 8 parts. So, or like 8 episodes. So looking forward to starting this. And yeah, so gonna make some chicken and gonna just sort of take it easy for the rest of the day. Likely I am going to finish Anna Wendy Poplars today. Look at how pretty! Look at how pretty it is. I love it so much. I'm so happy that I have this. Oh, it's so pretty. And I don't know if you can tell, but the green here, it's like metallic. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can sort of see better there, right? You can see that. And yeah, it's, oh, it's so pretty. So, oh, I'm thinking of doing, like, you'll have like my keeper shelf there, but I want to do like separate shelves, like one of those like like sort of the boards that like you just sort of like screw into the wall, or like, yeah, that you like screw into the wall, and for like specific, for like just for pretty. So for all of my like paper mill press editions, that would go on like one shelf, and like put it like somewhere like below my window or like next to my bed or something like that. And maybe I want to do that for the Bronze Horseman series as well. And my I'm debating the Outlander books, because those are some big books. So I don't know if how heavy it would, it might be too heavy to do like a single shelf for. But oh, I definitely want a shelf of just my paper mill press editions of my books, of books that I have so far. And this book exchange bookstore, they had a lot of the paper mill press. They had Jane Eyre, which again, it's sort of like, it's not like a chain bookstore where they have like multiple editions of the same book. So it's kind of like a Winners situation, if you know the Winners store, where like you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to get that. Maybe I'll get it next time. Next time it won't be there. Get it now. So I was looking at that. They had the Jane Eyre there in Paper Mill Press. They had Wuthering Heights in Paper Mill Press. They had 1984 by George Orwell. They had in Paper Mill Press. Yeah, they had a lot of them. So definitely next time I get paid, I'm gonna get that. If I can't knock on, because I don't want to knock over the camera, but knock on wood that Jane Eyre one is still there, because next time I get paid, I want to get that one. Definitely. So that's gonna be it for now. And I don't know if I mentioned this before. I think I might have, but just that tomorrow I'm not going anywhere, but I might still like film a little vlog of just talking to you guys, because last week when I didn't go anywhere because we had the storm from hell, it was still nice to just sort of like talk to you guys about like what I'm watching and what I'm reading, and like even if I didn't like have anywhere to like go and like, show you, it was still nice. So I might still do that tomorrow. Maybe. Because I do still have to film my book wrap up. So, but I still might film like a small little thing for you guys. So that's going to be it for now. Talk to you later. So I finished it. I liked it. I didn't love it. It didn't have the same sort of, it didn't give me that same sort of boost of serotonin that the first three did. This one had like, it had like its sort of that sad sort of draggy middle bit with Catherine, what's her face, which was almost like too kind of depressing and not what I wanted to read. Considering what I look for these books to give me, and that is sort of that uplifting, just mentally good feeling. And it picked up after that, but because sort of it had that, it's not my favorite of the series. It ended, like really nicely. We had that little Elizabeth girl, Anne found her father and he came to like get her and take her away from those horrible women. And Anne is now on her way back to Green Gables, and Gilbert is on his way back there as well. I wanted more of them together, and like we didn't really get that. So that was, a negative in the book for me. And yeah, so I liked it. I didn't love it. So this one, out of 3 books, this fourth one, in any series, I imagine that you're going to have ones that you like more than others. Outlander Fiery Cross people, I'm looking at you. Because I know there are people that do not like the Fiery Cross. I loved Fiery Cross because it had like the day-to-day stuff of Jamie and Claire and just them being like calm and at home, and just that's what I love from like these books, like from particularly the Anne of Green Gables books. That's what I love about them. I love this sort of day-to-day homey sort of vibe. And don't get me wrong, I love my angsty books. I mean, my God, next to Outlander, my favorite series is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. And if you haven't read that, oh my God, go invest in some Costco-sized box of Kleenex and enjoy. Enjoy having your heart ripped out. But yeah, this is sort of the opposite side of that. It's like when I want the like calm, lovely, day-to-day, homey, I think the term is cottagecore now. Like the internet comes up with these like buzzwords that just make me laugh. But yeah, that's sort of what this I would call this. But yeah, not my favorite of the series. Still, like beautifully written lines. Loved it. Loved that. But just sort of, and again, I'm not a fan of epistolary books, and I wouldn't even call this an epistolary romance because we had Anne talking, like writing letters to Gilbert, but we never got to read Gilbert's letters back to her, which I think, why? Why did she do that? Why not? Why didn't we get to see Gilbert's letters? So that was a thing. So the next one I'm going to start today, I'm going to try Jane Austen again, because maybe it was just Pride and Prejudice didn't work for me, like, at all. So maybe it was just like that one-off thing, and it was like, I would laugh if I ended up loving this one, because Pride and Prejudice is the one that is like so overhyped and like the greatest love story of all time, and just nope, not at all. I wanted to drop kick Elizabeth Bennet off a bridge. I did not like her at all. She had her moments. Let's be fair. She had her moments where I did not mind her character. But for the most part, no. So, this one is a second chance romance between Anne, who has refused the proposal of Captain Wentworth because he ain't got no monies. So he goes off to earn his fortune. 8 years later, he comes back, and she's wondering, because like I guess the feelings are still there, and she still loves him and wonders if she made the right decision or if she made the wrong decision by turning him down 8 years ago. So I'm thinking that this is a second chance romance. I'm really hoping it is, and I'm really hoping that I like it more than I liked Pride and Prejudice, because it was just, Jane Austen's writing just didn't work for me. So I don't know if that's going to be the case here, or because I like the characters better, maybe like the writing will, I'll enjoy the writing more. I hope, because in Pride and Prejudice, it took the girl a week to get out a sentence. I mean, she would ramble on in circles to make like one point. So I'm hoping that's not the case here. And it's a shorter book, so that's what we'll be reading. And for work, I'm still reading Clara's War by Clara Kramer, which is a memoir of a young girl's life in the Nazi occupation in Poland. So that's what I'm reading for work, and we are going to be starting this one today. I'm like 3 episodes in. I'm about to start the 4th episode today of My Brilliant Friend. And the storytelling is so sort of immersive. And I'm so like hooked into the story. But at the same time, I'm kind of irked and annoyed that it is ending up to be one of those stories where it's 2 women who are supposedly friends who are going to end up doing, like terrible things to each other. And I'm sort of like, I'm worried that it's going to go in that direction. Because right from like the beginning, we have Leela, who is sort of the wild child, poor girl. Like, they're all poor in this little village of it's a village, I believe, in Naples. But Leela, I think, definitely has it worse, because her her family sort of treats her worse. I mean, for goodness sake, her father is a piece of shit. And then there's this one scene where he throws her out a window. So, yeah. And we have Lenu, who it's her nickname, her name is actually Elena. I don't know if it's biographical or semi-biographical, semi-autobiographical, because the author of the My Brilliant Friend is the uh, pseudonym pseudonymous. The author uses a pseudonym, uses the pseudonym Elena Ferrante, and the main character's name is Elena, nicknamed Lenu. Everybody calls her Lenu. Um, her she and Leela meet as like little girls, and Lenu definitely has a better sort of family life. And like again, the whole village is poor, so nobody's like financially better off, but I think Lenu has like a better family life than Leela. Um, and like right from like when they meet, like they didn't like meet and like, oh hey, like, you want to play and be friends, and no, there was sort of like this little competition going on between them in school, and they're both like, it's called My Brilliant Friend, but it's sort of, they're both like equally kind of as brilliant. um Leela is just more of a wild child and seems more like harder. Like granted, I can understand because of her crappy home life, but pretty much their first encounter together, like they're showing each other their dolls, and then Leela takes her doll and like throws it down like this grate into this mobster's home. And like, I'm sorry, if I was a child and another child did that to me, I wouldn't want to be their friend. So that, granted, Lenu then takes Leela's doll and throws it down the same grate. But it's just the fact, like, if a girl did that to me, I wouldn't want to be her friend. So I don't understand how or why these two became friends, but they did. And then it jumps forward, time jumps forward, and they're like teenagers now, and Lenu is studying and gets this opportunity to study in like this other school, but Leela, who is equally as smart, doesn't get that opportunity. And it doesn't explain necessarily why, but all of a sudden they're not really friends anymore. They're not as close as they used to be. They like rarely see each other in like the beginning of this time jump. Um, and like, I don't know if it's because like Lenu's going to like this school and like Leela's not. Uh, I don't think she's even like allowed to go to school anymore, but she's still sort of studying like on her own. So she's still keeping up with her education, but she's sort of doing it in secret because her family is trash. Um, and it's just weird, this sort of um, rift kind of between them, which I guess like it could be that, but I get it was just sort of jarring from like how close they were to like the time jump when they're like hardly seeing each other. They're almost like strangers. And like that's sort of changing from like where I got up to. That they're sort of turning a corner and like becoming maybe close again. Um, but it's just strange. And I'm finding it, like, I know that these novels are like touted as like so like groundbreaking and so like, but I'm finding them kind of cliche. In like, I don't find her doing anything different than a lot of other authors who do that same trope of like complicated female friendships. Like I don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying it, I'm loving it, but I don't understand why it's considered so groundbreaking what she's doing when I've read it before. So I don't understand what's so special about these novels. Granted, I'm watching the adaptation. I haven't read the book yet, which I do have on my thing, but yeah, I'm liking it. I'm so like engaged and immersed and like loving it. But I don't see anything groundbreaking about it. So that's just my opinion. I'm loving it because I love those types of stories. Even though I will say I'm loving this story so far. So far, granted, I'm only like 3 episodes in. I'm loving this much more than Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I despise that book. And it was the same sort of thing. But in that one, I kind of felt like the wild friend, or like the there was like the cool friend and the not cool friend. The wild friend, the Katherine Heigl's character in the Netflix adaptation, her character in the book, she was more, I don't know, manipulative, I guess, like in the books, and more of like, yeah, I hated that book. I hated that book. Um, this one, I think I like Leela's character more, even though, because I see more of her. And, yeah, in Firefly Lane, her, like, you got to see like that she was a broken character and broken girl and like what everything that happened. Like, yeah, you got that, but there's something about Leela that makes her more sympathetic to me. I don't know. I don't know why, but and just oh my god, the child actresses who played Leela and Lanu, oh my god, they were fantastic. And that little girl who played Leela, oh my god, she was the preciousest freaking thing. You just wanted to hug her and like take her home and like give her like the best life. She was so, oh my god. But yeah, so now we're seeing them sort of as teenagers. And hoping to finish it today, but I don't know because there are 8 episodes and I'm going to be starting number 4 today. So that's today. I just finished recording my book wrap up for the month of January. And your girl is staying home because let me see if you'll be able to see. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I don't think you can. Oh, that's too bad. But the temperature on there, it says, no, you can't see that. It says -18. That's the temperature. We're not even talking about the wind chill. I know last night the wind chill was down to like -30. -36 in some places up north. But yeah, your girl's staying home today. So that is, I did recorded my book wrap-up for the month of January. So I think I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be editing that. I'm going to be editing my book haul video, because I want to have sort of like, I finished editing my speed dating my TBR episode 4, because I want to have like those 3 things sort of ready to upload as I go back to work tomorrow. So yeah, gonna be editing, gonna be reading Starting Persuasion, gonna be watching some more, hopefully finish it today, maybe not. But for lunch we're probably having some fish, and just gonna sort of take it easy for the rest of the day, and then back to work tomorrow, where it's supposed to be really cold, but maybe it won't be as bad. And then Sunday, the temperature's supposed to pick up. It's going to be like +3. That's where we are now. We're excited when it's like over 0, above 0. That's where we are now. But I always find that to be sort of true, that January and February are almost always the coldest months of winter. Cannot wait for them to be over so that I can go on my regular sort of walks and like go to the park and like sit down in the park and read in the park and just sort of get that nice sort of serotonin, peaceful happiness that I came to rely on last year. So looking forward to doing all that stuff again. And yeah, I guess that's going to be it for this week. I edited the weekly vlog from last week already, so that's ready to go. So I think I'm good for like the next couple of days, upload wise. I think I'm going to have something up like every day over this weekend into next week. So yay. Yay for productivity. And I did some editing on Wanted, my historical romance. I don't know if I'm going to do any of that today because I want to edit these 2 videos, my book wrap-up and my book haul. So we might not get any editing on my Wanted manuscript, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So I'm very proud of my productivity this week. Go me! Yep, so I guess I will talk to you guys next time.